Here is the rewritten version. Welcome back, tennis fans, to a massive update sending shockwaves through the heart of the Iberian Peninsula. We are standing on the precipice of the 2026 Madrid Open, one of the most prestigious, demanding, and fiercely contested tournaments on the WTA calendar. And there is one name dominating the headlines, echoing through the corridors of the Caja Magica and electrifying the Spanish public. That name is Alexandra Eala. The young Filipina is not simply entering the biggest clay court tournament of the season. She is arriving as a genuine force of nature. And all of Spain is watching with something close to disbelief. Why this moment is different if you have been following women's tennis over the past 2 years, you already sense that something fundamental is shifting. The old guard is being challenged with relentless intensity, and the new generation is not merely knocking on the door. They're dismantling it with heavy topspin forehands and unwavering mental clarity. But what is happening in Madrid right now transcends the typical rising star narrative. This is a story about a player who forged her weapons on Spanish soil, specifically at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, returning to the mainland to stake her claim among the absolute elite. The Spanish fans, who understand clay court tennis better than almost anyone on the planet, are not looking at Eala simply as a prodigious talent from Southeast Asia. They see her as something closer to one of their own, an adopted daughter of the red dirt, someone who absorbed the Spanish ethos of suffering, grinding, and prevailing on the most unforgiving surface in the sport. The city, the venue, the stakes. Madrid is a tennis cathedral during this time of year. Sitting at nearly 700 meters above sea level, the Spanish capital creates a unique aerodynamic environment where the ball travels faster through thinner air, kicking off the clay with a viciousness you simply do not encounter in Monte Carlo, Rome, or Paris. It is a surface that rewards power, but only when that power is disciplined by heavy spin and supreme tactical control. The Madrid Open is a WTA 1000 event, a mandatory battlefield where the top 30 players in the world converge, leaving no room for gentle introductions or kind draws. Every match from the opening round through to final Sunday is a genuine test of everything a player has built. And right in the center of this arena stands Eala, carrying the hopes of the Philippines and the breathless anticipation of the Spanish crowd simultaneously. Why Spain is paying attention. The tennis world remembers the seismic events of 2025. A teenager sending tremors across the globe by defeating Iga Swiatek at Miami. But it was their rematch right here in Madrid that cemented Eala's reputation as a clay court warrior. She stepped onto the Manolo Santana Stadium court and tore the first set away from the defending champion, exploiting the altitude, dictating the exchanges, matching Swiatek blow for blow, before the Polish superstar had to reach into the deepest reserves of her experience to pull out a 3-set victory. That match proved Eala was not a flash in the pan. It proved her game translates to the very highest level of clay court tennis. And now in 2026, she returns stronger, faster, and considerably more dangerous. The local sports media has been in a frenzy. Spanish publications are dedicating front pages to her footwork, her court coverage, and the explosive power generated from a relatively compact frame. It is unusual for a non-Spaniard to capture the imagination of the Madrid crowd to this extent, but Eala's connection to the Rafa Nadal Academy bridges that gap naturally. She has spent her formative years running the courts of Manacor, practicing with the same relentless intensity that defined the king of clay himself. The Spanish fans recognize that DNA in her game. They see the heavy looping forehand that pushes opponents deep behind the baseline. They see the tactical patience required to construct a clay court point, waiting for the precise moment to pull the trigger down the line. It is a brand of tennis that resonates deeply with the purists in the Caja Magica stands. How the Rafa Nadal Academy built her the foundation of Eala's current form was laid hundreds of miles away on the Balearic island of Mallorca. The Rafael Nadal Academy is not simply a training facility. It is a laboratory for producing champions, built entirely around the philosophy of the greatest clay court player in the history of the sport. When Eala moved there as a young teenager, she was immersed in an environment that demanded excellence, resilience, and an absolute refusal to take the easy path. In Spanish tennis culture, there is a concept of learning to suffer on the court. Clay is an exhausting surface. It neutralizes power, extends rallies, and forces players to earn every single point through sustained physical and mental effort. Eala learned early that patience and endurance are just as important as shot making. She developed the art of sliding on clay, a skill requiring impeccable balance, core strength, and timing, allowing her to defend the corners and immediately transition back to attack. Her forehand accumulated heavy topspin that kicks above opponents' strike zones, pushing them toward the back fence and opening the court for precise drop shots or flat backhand winners down the line. This deep connection to Spanish tennis methodology is precisely why the Madrid crowds have embraced her. They see the ghost of traditional Spanish clay court mastery woven into the modern baseline game of a young Filipina. The Madrid altitude advantage the WTA Madrid Open plays unlike any other clay tournament on Earth. The Caja Magica sits at altitude, and the physics of the game change accordingly. With significantly lower air resistance, the ball travels faster through the air and bounces higher off the clay. Heavy servers gain a notable advantage. Eala's kick serve out wide on the ad-court becomes particularly difficult to handle, jumping beyond the reach of two-handed backhand returners. The challenge is keeping the ball in the court at all. The thinner air makes overhitting a constant risk. This is where Eala's topspin becomes her most essential weapon. The spin acts as a parachute, pulling the ball sharply inside the baseline even when struck with maximum velocity. During her 2025 Madrid clash with Swiatek, she used these conditions masterfully, not attempting to overpower the world number 2 directly, but outspinning her in the crucial moments of the first set, forcing uncharacteristic errors from the most consistent player in the game. In 2026, her comfort with the Madrid altitude is a genuinely unsettling prospect for the rest of the draw. The tactical evolution, several specific adjustments to Eala's game over the past 12 months have made her considerably more formidable on clay. Her backhand down the line has become a weapon of real devastation. Players instinctively settle into cross-court rallies on clay, waiting for a short ball. Eala has developed a striking ability to change direction abruptly, taking a high-bouncing cross-court forehand and redirecting her two-handed backhand straight down the line. It is a high-risk shot that leaves opponents stranded on the wrong side of the court. Her return of serve positioning has also evolved significantly. She starts deep to read the ball's trajectory, then aggressively steps inside the baseline the moment the toss begins, taking the return on the rise, rushing opponents, and stealing the time they need to set up their preferred first strike. Her drop shot on clay has become a fundamental tactical requirement rather than an occasional gamble. Because her ground strokes are so heavy, opponents are forced 2 or 3 meters behind the baseline to defend. Eala maintains identical racket head speed until the last millisecond before softening her hands, forcing opponents into exhausting sprints to the net that accumulate across 2 hours and drain legs steadily as the match progresses. The mental foundation physical tools are only half the picture. The psychological demands of a WTA 1000 event are staggering. You are surrounded by Grand Slam champions, former world number ones, and seasoned veterans who understand every dimension of momentum management and competitive pressure. Eala's mental growth has been remarkable. She possesses a chilling composure on court. Whether she is up a break or facing triple break points, her body language barely fluctuates. That emotional equilibrium prevents the dramatic peaks and valleys that undermine many young players in high-pressure moments. She also carries the unique weight of being the face of Philippine tennis, a nation that stays awake through the early morning hours to watch her matches, celebrating every victory as a national triumph and scrutinizing every defeat. Rather than being crushed by this expectation, she has learned to use it as fuel. She has become a symbol for Southeast Asian sport, proving that world-class tennis talent can emerge from regions outside the traditional strongholds of Europe and North America. What Madrid means going forward, a strong performance at the WTA Madrid Open carries enormous consequences. The ranking points available here are significant. A deep run cements her position and ensures favorable seedings heading into Roland Garros. Being seeded at a Grand Slam protects a rising player from the top-ranked opponents in the opening rounds, allowing time to find rhythm and build toward peak form. Eala's preparation has been meticulous. Her fitness team has structured training blocks to maximize explosive power while protecting joints and ligaments through a grueling clay court schedule. The data supports what the eye test shows. Her return percentage on second serves has improved substantially, her first serve win percentage on clay is approaching the tour's upper tier, and her tactical decision-making has matured considerably. She is mathematically, physically, and tactically positioned to compete at the very highest level. The larger picture, we must take a moment to contextualize what is actually unfolding here. We are not simply watching a tennis tournament. We are watching a legacy being written in real time. The red clay of the Caja Magica has been the stage for some of the most iconic moments in tennis history, where legends are tested, pretenders are exposed, and genuine champions rise to the occasion. Eala's journey from the Philippines to the elite courts of the Rafa Nadal Academy and finally to the grand stages of WTA 1000 competition is a masterclass in dedication, resilience, and unrelenting belief. The fact that Spain, a nation that has produced some of the greatest clay court players the world has ever seen, has collectively embraced her talent says everything. They have recognized her fighting spirit as kin to their own legendary gladiators of the sport. As the Madrid draw unfolds and Rome and Roland Garros approach on the horizon, Eala has positioned herself not as a dark horse, but as a legitimate, dangerous contender. For the millions of fans staying awake through the night in the Philippines to watch her play, this is a golden era. She is carrying the flag with grace and ferocity, inspiring a generation of young athletes back home to pick up a racket and believe that the biggest stages in the world are within reach. And for everyone who simply loves tennis, Eala brings a dynamic, intelligent, and genuinely exciting brand of play that is a privilege to watch. The Alexandra Eala story is only just beginning, and the best chapters are still to be written.